the whole Conor Benn debacle just been crazy, really. People have failed drug tests, and it's not left as bad a taste in my mouth as this has for some reason. Like just dragged on, you know, been dragged on. The waters have been muddy so bad that we ain't got a fucking clue what's going on, have we? I ain't got a clue. Am I mad at Conor Benn or not? I don't know. Should I be mad at him or not? I don't really know. It's a mad situation. It's can't really. I don't know. I can't really get up for the fight because the whole Conor Benn situation, I think, just been handled terribly. Really, like people fail drug tests and they're all and.
Fuck you up, yeah, kid, it's gonna fuck you up, yeah. Watch what happens. Yeah, watch what happens. Dead boy walking, yeah? Dead boy walking, yeah? Yeah, you're lucky. You're lucky.
The boxing world has been thrown into chaos once again, not by a punch inside the ring, but by Conor Benn's explosive meltdown outside of it. What started as another heated exchange between bitter rivals spiraled into something far darker, exposing more about Benn's unraveling state of mind than his rivalry with Chris.
And the promoters, I know you spoke about that before, and doesn't do a great deal for you, so you say it was a mismatch on paper.
Yeah, I think it's a mismatch on paper. Of course it is. It's a fella that won a British title at welterweight, who hasn't boxed for a long time, against a faded world-class middleweight. So,
Chris Eubank Jr. heavyweight fan favorite Dave Allen, known for his blunt honesty, didn't hold back. He tore into Benn's behavior, calling the outburst pure embarrassment. His words carried weight because they came from a fighter who understands composure under pressure. You've already failed drug tests.
Rehydration clauses should not be a thing in boxing. I know IBF have a £10 morning after ruling, but it's just not safe. The term rehydration clauses don't sound safe. Rehydration clause, just don't agree with it. Eubank's been up at super middleweight, and now they're going to drag him down to near light middleweight. I don't like it.
Allen said bluntly, "Now you're losing control outside the ring too." His message was simple. Benn isn't just battling Eubank anymore. He's battling himself. Allen didn't just defend Eubank. He dismantled the circus Benn has created. No composure, no class, just chaos.
Conor is a far better fighter than Chris Eubank Jr. is a boxer.
Technically, yeah.
And that's the problem that Chris Eubank Jr. is having. He's got this thing in his mind. He's a masterful boxer. No, you're not.
No.
I'm sorry, no, you're not.
He said, summing up what millions of fans were thinking after witnessing the shocking scene. The meltdown wasn't passion. It was proof that Benn's once promising career is now fueled more by rage than reason. Reports soon surfaced that Benn's camp was once again pushing.
He could fight. I respect it. So go in there against fighters. You should be climbing the ladder towards those other fighters and taking the sport seriously to the point where you're fighting actual boxers.
Controversial weight manipulation tactics, the same issue that derailed the first fight negotiations. Allen called it dangerous and desperate, and you could sense his disgust. This rivalry has stopped being about belts. It's now pride versus poison. Discipline versus desperation.
Emotions on the fight. You know, so for me it was like, yeah, you know, going into the fight, that was my aim, was to hurt him. Right. And I hurt him. And that was my plan. That's, you know, I'm not going in there to you know, give him a cuddle. And
surprisingly, Tony Bellew decided to defend Benn, claiming the outburst showed fire and hunger. His words lit up headlines, but also sparked confusion. How can a fighter be praised for losing control? Bellew's comments felt misplaced, as though he was glorifying chaos instead of condemning it. The truth is, Benn's fury isn't focus, it's frustration. Eubank's silence, on the other hand, speaks volumes. When chaos erupts, the man who stays quiet often wins the mental war. And that's exactly what Eubank has done, staying composed while Benn unravels in public. When ESPN's Stephen A. Smith got involved, the story hit mainstream. True to form, Smith didn't sugarcoat his words. He blasted Benn for prioritizing drama over discipline.
So what will happen is, when a fighter makes weight, I mean, a lot of people know this, but for people who don't, they don't eat straight away. It's the last thing you do. You rehydrate with liquid for a few hours, right? So as soon as you do that, you will put on 6 or 7 pounds immediately.
It wasn't confidence, Smith argued. That was ego cracking under pressure and guilt. While Benn's chasing headlines, Eubank's perfecting his craft. That's the difference between contenders and pretenders. Benn's emotions may sell clicks, but they don't win fights. His words are raw and reactive, while his actions show a man ruled by impulse, not intention. Eubank, by contrast, remains methodical and focused, a fighter who understands that true control begins in the mind. Benn fights to reclaim credibility. Eubank fights to protect professionalism. Caught in the middle is promoter Eddie Hearn, who's tried to rationalize Benn's behavior with talk of rehydration, nutrition, and recovery. But as many in the sport have pointed out, this entire saga started with Benn's attempts to impose unfair rehydration clauses before their first scheduled fight. Those tactics were...
Personally, I just think the last performance of Chris, I thought, you've got nothing left. You've got there's no more improvement on what I'm seeing there. And I know there was the weight issue and all the build-up to it. I thought there's no more improvement there.
Does that mean you think do you think Conor Benn will be better in the second fight?
Yes.
Does that mean that you think that by him being better and there's no more left from Chris Eubank, that Conor Benn's able to bridge the gap and get an outcome in his second fight?
Meant to tilt the scales in his favor. When they backfired, Benn cried foul. That first fight wasn't about punches. It was about power plays. Pride, manipulation, and media games overshadowed the sport itself. Hearn's current explanations sound less like science and more like damage control, the words of a promoter trying to patch cracks after a meltdown. Meanwhile, Eubank Jr. continues to prove who the true professional is, handling those same weight demands with poise and precision. And as talk of a rematch builds, old ghosts return, rehydration clauses, drug test controversies, and one undeniable truth: Eubank never needed shortcuts. Benn always looked for them. Then came Johnny Nelson's surprising comments, which sent shockwaves across the boxing community.
I do see improvement there for Conor, and I do think the results will be different the other way around in the next fight. I think it'll go the distance all over.
His claim that Eubank has peaked while Benn is improving raised eyebrows and questions alike. To many, it sounded detached from reality. The rematch hype seems to have made people forget history. In their first meeting, Benn arrived surrounded by excuses, rehydration issues, drug test drama, emotional turmoil, while Eubank entered calm and composed. The result was inevitable. Skill defeated chaos. Nelson's optimism felt more like pity than prediction, as if he wanted Benn's redemption story to eclipse his tainted past. But boxing isn't built on fairy tales. It's built on composure. And if this rematch happens under fair conditions, no weight games, no distractions, no excuses, Benn's youth won't save him. Eubank's precision already exposed the gap once, and this time...
I'm not surprised.
Does that cross the line, do you think?
Yeah, it does. Listen, the presser was good. It was a great presser, back and forth, poking each other, but not too far. But once you get physical and you touch a man's face,
it could end in brutal, definitive fashion. As the dust settles, one truth remains: Conor Benn's fight is no longer with Chris Eubank Jr. It's with himself. Against the chaos, the controversy, and the cracks in his own foundation. Until he wins that battle, every meltdown will just prove what the calm man already knows: control beats chaos, every time. The boxing world once again finds itself split down the middle, not because of punches thrown, but because of what they revealed. Calling Chris Eubank Jr. stiff ignores context entirely. He wasn't stiff, he was composed. Conor Benn, meanwhile, looked like a man possessed, swinging wildly, desperate to erase the stain of his failed drug tests. Johnny Nelson can talk all he wants about Benn's so-called improvement, but Benn's actions scream instability. He's still haunted by ghosts. The backlash, the headline...
Eubank Jr., if he gets this win, and there's a new lease of life maybe under Beaumat, 2026, maybe finally he could become a world champion. But he's got to get past Conor Benn first, and Conor Benn, not just hungry for revenge, he believes he can win this because of what happened first time round, because he went 12 rounds at middleweight, up in class, after a long layoff. Some people fancy Benn in this.
The shame. Eubank, however, has grown from it all. He's adjusted, matured, and reinvented himself quietly. The difference now, if anything changes in the rematch, it won't be Benn getting better. It'll be Eubank finishing things earlier. Boxing never forgets, and Eubank Jr. seems determined to remind everyone that discipline always beats desperation. Amid all the noise, trainer Dave Coldwell brought a rare sense of clarity. His take cut through the excuses and hype. That wasn't passion. That was a meltdown. Coldwell reminded fans what boxing used to represent: respect, not rage. That infamous face-touch moment during their latest confrontation wasn't hype. It was humiliation. The irony couldn't be sharper. Benn talks endlessly about legacy and family honor, yet his behavior disrespects the very sport his father helped build. Chris Eubank Jr., once mocked for arrogance, now stands as the professional keeping this rivalry.
This guy has zero respect for anything. And I hope people can see through it. Some will, some won't. But if you can't see them, that's a lot of what happened up there was just wrong. So listen, we go to work and we're in to win the fight. It's going to be different this time.
From collapsing into chaos. And that's the paradox. In a sport filled with noise, silence speaks loudest. Coldwell didn't defend anyone. He simply exposed who's truly lost control. Sky Sports analyst Adam Smith gave perhaps the most balanced breakdown. On the surface he sounded calm and neutral, but underneath his words was a deeper truth. Both men are fighting for survival. For Eubank Jr., this rematch represents rebirth, a chance at legacy, respect, and proof that discipline outlasts drama. For Conor Benn, it's about redemption, or more accurately, desperation. He's not just fighting Eubank, he's fighting his own past. Failed drug tests, emotional breakdowns, and public humiliation haunt every step he takes. Smith put it perfectly. This isn't just another fight, it's a test of maturity. Last time, Eubank boxed smart.
Things they're doing in the sport. No one speaks up. Everyone's too afraid. Oh, I don't want to ruffle any feathers. I don't want to lose out on a fight, or I don't want to mess up my money. I don't care. I don't need to be here. So if you do something wrong,
calm and clinical. Benn fought emotional, reckless, and reactive. If history repeats itself, the result will be the same. Eubank outclassing a man consumed by his own mistakes. For Eubank, victory means validation. For Benn, another loss wouldn't just damage his record, it would destroy his redemption story completely. Eddie Hearn's recent comments revealed a promoter walking a tightrope. His frustration was visible. Zero respect wasn't a marketing line. It was a plea for control in a situation spiraling beyond his reach. The shoving, shouting, and disrespect at the press conference reminded everyone that Benn's temper continues to overshadow his talent. Hearn insists things will be different this time, but it's hard to sell composure when your fighter thrives on chaos. Eubank doesn't need theatrics. His silence has become his sharpest weapon, a calm that unnerves opponents. Once seen as the villain, he's now the veteran who uses composure like a blade.
Because that was a hard fight, the first one. This one will be another hard fight, whoever wins, unless there's a real freak occurrence, not a freak occurrence, unless someone gets caught with the shot really early, then it's going to be a hard night, which you still have to make Eubank the favourite again, like I did the first time. I mean, so I don't...
Hearn's confidence sounds convincing on camera, but his tone betrays tension. Deep down, he knows he's managing a ticking time bomb, because if Benn loses control again, not even clever promotion can save him. The truth is simple. This fight isn't being sold, it's being contained. Eubank's precise, almost surgical delivery has become his trademark. His words aren't loud, but they echo. When he said, "If you do something wrong, I'll expose you," it wasn't just aimed at Benn, it was aimed at anyone hiding behind excuses. That wasn't posturing, it was conviction. Eubank has endured politics, criticism, and media manipulation. He's tired of it. In an era where fighters hide behind PR filters, Eubank stands raw and unfiltered. He doesn't chase popularity, he demands accountability. That's the difference. Benn seeks validation, Eubank seeks justice. One man is trying.
I think he'll get a lot more people wanting to tune into that fight, and obviously we're going to win the next fight, and. But yeah, looking forward to it. Looking forward to getting Conor Benn ready to fight, and it's going to be historic.
Trying to cleanse his image. The other is trying to cleanse the sport. Every word Eubank utters now feels like a warning, not just to Benn, but to anyone treating boxing like a circus. And the world is finally listening. Analyst Barry Jones spoke with brutal honesty. This isn't redemption, it's a risk, he said. And he's right. Benn barely survived the first fight. Mentally, emotionally, and physically. The drug scandal, criticism, and scrutiny stripped something from him that no training camp can restore. Deep down, Barry knows what most insiders whisper: Eubank's discipline, durability, and maturity give him the edge. This isn't about power, it's about control. And in that department, Eubank is unmatched. Trainer Tony Sims, meanwhile, continues to play his part. "We're ready, we're going," he says. But his tone betrays concern. He knows the storm they're walking into. For Benn, this isn't just a fight for victory. It's a fight for survival, reputation, and redemption. But you can train the body.